Always low prices at Pahrump Valley Auto Plaza.
Nevada law requires that every peace officer receive training each year in various subjects. They have to get defensive tactics training each year, refresher in the use of force, any less lethal munitions that they use, such as taser or pepper spray, they have to recertify in. And today they're covering both defensive tactics and the firearms training. Every year they're required to have training in some category of some discipline related to the firearms, as well as 2 qualifications per year to guarantee that they're proficient enough with their guns to hit the target. The mandatory firearm is the Glock 17, which is a 9mm, and on top of that they also have AR-15s, which is .223 caliber. On top of the defensive tactics, the less lethal, the use of force, and the firearms training, they're required to take a minimum of 12 hours of training in various subjects. Those subjects include crisis intervention, verbal de-escalation, bias recognition, officer well-being, and mental illnesses. We always exceed that level of training each year by dozens of hours usually. So today they'll receive a total of 5 hours training in firearms and 5 hours recertifying in their defensive tactics. Generally, they receive upwards of hundreds of hours of training each year. One of the progressions in law enforcement nationwide is a move more towards crisis intervention and a de-escalation model rather than the traditional use of force model. In the Nye County Sheriff's Office, we've always taught crisis intervention and verbal de-escalation, and just last year, Nevada made it a law that it's required for all officers to receive this training yearly. We would always rather resolve conflicts peacefully without having to result in any kind of use of force. Even the application of handcuffs is technically a use of force, but we'd rather those handcuffs go on peacefully rather than with some kind of fight or weapons being involved. Another training that we offer that's of great importance to law enforcement these days is the bias recognition. And that's not just recognition of racial bias, but implicit bias that exists in almost everybody. People have a natural tendency to sort of simplify their decision-making process by taking these shortcuts or biases in coming to the conclusions that they come to. And we teach officers to overcome that and truly filter out the facts from any preconceived notions or emotions. Another training that is mandatory by Nevada law as of last year is recognition of mental illness and how to handle those things. And on top of that is officer well-being. We like to make sure that our officers are healthy as well. Officers do have a high rate of suicides and divorces and things like that, so we like to make sure that our officers are healthy as well.